Today's webinar is the second session in our three-part series Above and Beyond PLM, and is titled EIM versus Other Enterprise Systems, Where's the Value? Our presenters today are Andy Michuda and Huub Rutten. Andy is president in Sopheon. He is an internationally recognized expert and speaker on the use of innovation management tools and best practices to improve critical business processes. A pioneer in the field, he began designing and guiding the implementation of knowledge management and new product development solutions for Fortune 500 companies and other large multinationals as far back as the early 90s. Our second presenter today is Huub Rutten, who's VP of Research and co-founder of Sopheon. Huub has more than 20 years of experience in linguistics and language management. He combines his linguistics and IT expertise to innovate the use of language management technology in knowledge-intensive business processes. During today's webinar, Andy and Huub will investigate the business purpose of an enterprise innovation system and how it brings unique value to the enterprise. So Andy and Huub, thanks for being with us today. Andy, I'll turn over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. Good day to everybody. Huub and I are looking to address a question that often comes up with companies. What's the difference between a PLM system, PLM platform, an ERP, and an enterprise innovation management platform? So what we put together for you today, I do want to provide a connection for those of you that attended the joint SimData session back 1 month ago, 3-4 weeks ago. We'll talk just briefly about the EIM, Enterprise Innovation Management Framework, that was introduced. I'll come on and share, these are some key market factors and drivers that we see is creating the corporate demand for enterprise innovation management system. And then I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Huub to bring some distinction in understanding and the relationship between the enterprise innovation management system and platform as opposed to ERP and PLM, which has been in the market for quite some time. And then we'll also talk about KPIs. You know, why does this matter to the business, the key performance indicators that are extracted out of these EIM systems. We'll close with a couple case stories. So to kick this off, let me just introduce you to the framework, EIM Framework, that was introduced in the last webinar by Dr. Suna Polat. And what she shared is from her recent research, there's 3 classes of EIM systems out there in the marketplace. One is all about the engagement of innovation as represented by open innovation. A second class had everything to do with decision-making and innovation guidance. And it's this area that deals with innovation strategy, road mapping, portfolio decision-making, as well as the front-end concept development and moving those innovation projects and programs through the life cycle. So 3 different classes of innovation systems, the last one being innovation delivery, which was introduced. And that's about actually creating a new product in their development and delivering them to the actual market. So based on that introduction of EIM, what I'd like to share is the 3 key market drivers, market trends that we see are creating urgency for corporations to invest in an EIM system. One is all about the consumerization-driven world, which demands corporate speed and agility of a corporate enterprise. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. A second one has to do with a top priority in every poll we're seeing for CEOs around the world dealing with Internet of Things, the digitization of business as a competitive advantage. And the third key market driver is a fundamental change in real concern that CEOs are expressing around people engagement. The employee engagement model is different today than it's been in the past in how to deal with that. All 3 of these are bringing pressure on corporations to change how they conduct business and how they innovate. So the first one, this is just a simple example, but the consumers wield real power. And it is this power of the consumer's voice today that is causing fundamental shift and change and speed to respond by corporate entities that serve the needs of those consumers. As you can see on this slide, Gartner projects that by 2020 there will be 7 billion personal devices out there versus the 1.6 in 2009, and we're going to have things that are connected to the internet which will outnumber people by at least 5 to 1. So there's major connectivity going on around the world, across products, across people, that corporations are very much aware of. In fact, Gartner claims that this is a transformational change for the corporate enterprise. The implications to digital business are very real. It affects your strategic development, the governance, and the culture and change management of corporations. Quite significant. Just to make it real for everybody, I thought it'd be kind of fun to share one brief case here. Traditionally, it takes 5 to 6 years for an auto manufacturer from drafting on the draft board the automobile to getting it into the manufacturing line. This company, CEO'd by Jay Rogers, called Local Motors, is demonstrating the ability by using 3D printed vehicles to go down from 5 to 6 years to an 18-month cycle. That's a disruptor. The automobile industry is changing quite dramatically, and it's an example of a product company, a manufacturer of automobiles, dealing with this significant rate of change. And so the accelerating rate of change is demanding new approaches out there, and as our friend Jack Welch has famously quoted, if the rate of change on the outside exceeds the rate of change on the inside of your corporation, the end is near. And this is the fear, and this is the concern corporations have today.